Welcome back. This is the final lesson. This is where we're going to go into the HurricaneEd EQ tool. Remember, EQ is the emotional intelligence quotient. This is going to be us dealing with our crew factors. When one of our crew members shows up and is having a bad day. So, we take everything away, we're going to build it back up and explain it to you. You might ask, why hurricane? Well, from my perspective, when someone shows up and their response is irrational, unreasonable, or disproportionate to whatever interaction I should be happening, it kind of feels like you're being hit by a hurricane of emotion. So that's why I use the HurricaneEd, both as a visual and a reminder. This is where someone's having a bad day, but we're going to use it to really understand emotional intelligence and how to handle someone when they're having a bad day. All right, there's the name of this tool. 4 quadrants. Why? 4 personality types. Controller, promoter, analyzer, supporter. All right, next we're going to talk about some of the distinctions of the different personality types. So right down the middle of this tool, you're going to have the dominant personality types, reminding you that the control and the promoter are the dominant in the top. Easygoing, the bottom. The control and the analyzer, your formal, results-based driven type folks. Your informal and feeling-based, your supporter and promoter. Who's going to ask what type of questions, right? Your controller asks what type of questions. Your supporter's asking you, so why are you an instructor? Remember that? The promoter's asking who question. Who's going to be there? Because how much fun are we going to have? It depends on who's going to be there. Your analyzer, how are we going to get it done? Very important to remember those questions. It'll come back to how you're going to deal with problems when someone steps into ways of being that act like a hurricane. All right, so those are all in the middle. I just put that there to highlight that. They're going to stay there. All right, now let's get all that away. So in each quadrant, you're going to have both Captain Compass, Captain Ass, the 2 ways of being that we talked about that a controller could encompass when they're in love mode, Captain Compass, or in fear mode, Captain Ass. So each one of these is going to be for each personality type, and we're going to list the different qualities that can kind of jog your memory. What does a controller look like? Well, when they like authority, they take charge, they're determined, enterprising, firm, adventurous, etc. And remember, at the bottom of that list, that's their sort of motto. This is how they like to live their life. Let's do it now. What are they? Results-based oriented. So you can see that's going to be there for you to jog your memory on who and what a controller looks like. Remember, I used Captain Compass and Captain Ass, those things as analogies to the different ways of being to help you sort of understand it in the context of sailing. All right, now Captain Ass, we put down all the qualities of Captain Ass, and remember, there are your tyrant captain. All right, I did that for each of the personality types. There it is. So the majority of this eye chart is now explained. Much easier to see what we're looking at. Okay, we're going to add those other qualities back in there. It's getting a little more busy, but now you know why they're there and how they can help you. Next, what's in the middle of the hurricane? That's the eye. The eye of the hurricane. Let's remove everything away. The hurricane shows up. You've got a crew member that's acting like a tyrant. The captain is always right, and I am the captain. Maybe this is maybe this happens between a husband and a wife, between a boss and a coworker, between 2 coworkers, between a boss and an employee. Someone's acting like a tyrant. They want to be in charge. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to jump into that quadrant with them? Is your hurricane going to meet their hurricane, and now it's going to be a battle of egos? Let me tell you, not effective. We've seen that. We know what that looks like. Doesn't work. So when that tyrant shows up and they're just spinning around in their head, I'm the captain and I'm always right, what are you going to do with that? What happens when the supporter wants to build that team, sees it going apart, no one's listening to them, they start whining about all the complexities? Are you going to jump in there and tell them, you haven't done that much? Whew, you're in for a battle. Don't confront the egos. Doesn't matter which ego it is. Do not go head to head with the ego. Why do I keep the eye of the hurricane in the center there highlighted? Because all these ways of being in the storm is where fear is controlling them. The fear that they have is what gets them there. And you've got to uncover what that fear is. And the only way to do that is to stay in the eye of the hurricane. So, the first secret I'm going to give you about staying in the eye, when you are the instructor, when you are the captain, when you are the lead follower, when you are the manager, that pretty much encompasses just about every role you're going to take in business, in family, as the captain, as the instructor, right? When you are any of those roles, this is where you got to live. And I'm going to give you a motto to live by in order to stay in there when the hurricane comes. Because we react too. We have an ego that's going to set off. Someone is flaring up. We oftentimes get reacted and flare. Maybe they remind us of someone that we grew up with or we grew up around. And it starts to flare. We need to remember. We need to stay in the eye. What's the eye of the storm like? Right? The eye of the storm is not flaring up. It's nice. It's calm. The winds aren't blowing. It's a beautiful day. That's where we need to be. So when that controller shows up and we've identified that they're a controller and all of a sudden they turn into Captain Ass, oh my gosh, they're steamrolling, they're screaming. Are we going to jump into that quadrant with them? Or are we going to jump into our quadrant? Are we going to start maybe out-analyzing them? Or saying, you know what, our promoter kicks in, we go, I didn't even want you here anyway. I only invited you because your wife's cool and you suck. That's not going to work. We don't we don't do that. You stay in the eye. What is it going to look like? Are you just going to be, I'm the captain and I'm always right? Is that where you're going to be? Don't go there. We hear it all the time. Don't go to every fight that you're invited to, right? When you're the instructor, when you're the leader, when you're the follower, when you're the manager, when you're the captain, it's about staying calm, cool, and collected. So here's the motto. It's not about you. When that storm comes, it's not about you. They're having a moment. They've lost it. Their fear has kicked in. Don't let your fear kick in that somehow this is about you. It's not about you. It's about them and their fear. So don't jump into the fight with them. Don't jump in the engagement. We're going to talk next about what you're going to do. So it's not about you. That's going to stay right in the middle of the HurricaneEd EQ tool. Always to remind you, did I make this about me? Did my ego flare up? Okay? That's the first secret. It's not about you. When they freak out, don't freak out with them. Why? Because when their energy goes up and they're in fear mode and you meet it, you just raise that energy to the double fear mode and it's not going to come down. But when they freak out and they're in fear mode and they look at you and they look in your eyes and they're calm, they're cool and collected and you're acknowledging them and you're saying, I see you have fear, it's going to bring the energy level down. So here we are. The tyrant's starting to freak out. Their ways of being where fear is controlling them. All of those, whether it's the controller, the analyzer, the supporter, the promoter, when they get into their response to you or to others that's irrational, disproportionate, or unreasonable, how are you going to get them back to a nice mellow sail, right? Using our different states of risk. Remember, we're on a mellow sail, mellow state, goes to a change state or alert state. When someone goes right to alert state and they're in this tyrant mode, how are we going to talk them back down? What we need to realize is for each one of these ways of being, there's also another way of being that they know. The land of possibility. Remember the love state? When fear's not controlling them, but love is. When they can see what's possible, grand possibilities. Okay? So what does that tyrant really want? A tyrant likes what questions? Because why? They're results based. So when you have the tyrant, you need to start asking them what this is about. Get them talking about the results that they're not getting that they want to get and start calmly addressing those results. What's going on? What's coming up for you? What is it that you see is happening? What is it that you would like to happen? All right, what's your intention here? See, I'm asking some what questions. What's your intention here? What are the results that you want to create? All right. Well, we got a bunch of crew here. I'm here. I'm listening to you. Let me address this fear a little bit. I think you're not seeing that what's possible is possible. I don't think that that's exactly what happened. And you start to calm them down. We do this. We've all had interactions where we do this stuff naturally. I'm deconstructing it so that you are more efficient and more effective at diffusing situations when they pop up. So should, in your risk management, you observe, orient, decide, act. When you act, I'm giving you the actions now to take. You observe, you've gone, we're no longer in a mellow state of sail. Someone is freaked out. Orient. What do I have here? We throwing a tantrum? What's going on? Is it a tyrant? Did someone clam up and walk down their room and shut the door? Maybe it's the analyzer. They're clamming up. Or someone just diarrhea of the mouth talking about how nothing's going right and they're making about complexity. Orient to the situation. Now, what we're going to decide. We're going to take a course of action. We're going to confront them, and now we're going to act on that. So you got to know who you're going to confront, right? So right now we're talking about who? The tyrant. What are we going to do? We're going to ask them what questions and get them to talk about results. We want to get them back into seeing what is possible when they drop the fear and they step back into their ways of being when they see what's possible. Okay. Next, the tantrum. What are you going to do with someone who's a promoter? Throwing a tantrum. Why are they here? They're asking who's going to be there? Why are they here? Who? So start asking them who questions. All right. You're throwing a tantrum. Who's this about? Well, she over there, or he, or him, or you. Okay, it's going to be an interpersonal thing normally with the promoter, because for them, they're about having fun and they're going to blame someone else. When you're not acting in the ways of being where you're looking at the land of possibility and you're being a victim, you're blaming people. It's about yes and no. Yes, no, right, wrong. This is terrible. I don't like this. Who made us? Okay, those kind of things. You're blaming others. And for the promoter, when they're throwing a tantrum, you got to find out who this is about. And now address that. You got to get them to see that they want to be inspiring. They want to be, they're here to be themselves and be appreciated. And you've got to find a way to get them back engaged and realize that they're part of this team. They're part of your crew, okay? That they need to stop blaming others and address the problem. Because remember, right in the middle, it's not about you, the captain. They're the ones that are in the storm. They're the ones that are having the fear. We're going to counter that by asking the questions and getting them back into their positive ways of being. Next, over here, bottom left, complexity. Your supporter. They're going on and on about how they took care of everything. No one appreciates them. That every night that they've been cooking every night. No, they've had to cook every night. No, they just did it upon themselves. They didn't ask. And everybody just leaves all the dishes for me to clean up. No, you clean up all the dishes before anyone can ask. Supporters oftentimes are martyrs. They take a bunch of things on themselves. So when they start going on the diarrhea of the mouth about how much of a martyr they are, you need to address that. Okay? Why are they here? Well, I wanted to be here because I wanted to have fun with all my friends. Well, guess what? We're all here. And maybe you might need to reach out. Okay? Might need to reach out, put a hand on a shoulder, make direct eye contact, physically look and calm them down. Remember, a lot of communication is nonverbal. You might need to look them right in the eyes. It's going to be all right. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time. Address their complexity. Let them tell you what their problem is. Hear it all out. Okay. Why are you here? All right. I know you want to create what? Teamwork, right? You want to create friendships and connections. Well, listen, this isn't going to do that. All right. We're here to see what's possible. Not everyone is always going to do the right thing. And you need to speak up and use your voice. You can't just be a martyr and clean and cook and do all that stuff. Enroll other people to help you. Okay? Address the issue. Calm, clear. And calm and clear. Get right to it. All right, next. Your avoider that clams up, your analyzer. What kind of questions do they want to know? They want to know how to get it done. How are we going to do this? Right? So when their fear comes up, they don't know how. Well, guess what? It's a fear. It's not based in reality. Remember, you're looking at someone that probably can solve the problem, but they're stuck in a moment. They're stuck. You got to get them out of that. Ask them how. What's coming up for you? Why do you think we can't solve this problem? How would you solve it? How do you think I should solve it? How do you think they should solve it? Start to address their problem, their fear. Why? Because get them back into being part of the solution, because they love to solve problems. Make sense? All right. So we covered all these ways of being, whether it's in a fear mode, when fear is controlling them, and love mode. The important thing is you stay in the eye of the storm and you stay calm. All right, let's get all of that away. This chart in the beginning looked like an art chart. You've done the work, you've gone through this. Oh, I've got one other thing I want to say. Up in the upper left, right, and in the bottom left and right, I did put on the chart the mellow, change, and alert states. Remember, we like a mellow state of sail. But guess what? Powerful leaders and great leaders know it's not always going to happen. So you need to be ready for the change states and the alert states so you can get back to a mellow sail. We just don't go out and go, well, I hope this is going to work out. No. Eye of the storm. You're the captain. You're the leader. Maybe even a follower. You're the manager. You're the instructor. You're prepared and you're ready. Let's get back to that mellow state of sail. Use this tool for crew factors to get you there. All right. So, right to the black and the white. So some of you really like things, just give me the answer. What's the black and the white? Okay? It's right in the middle in black and white. The number one secret is it's not about you. And here's the number two secret. The number two secret comes down to this. Right in the middle, I've shaded part of the eye of the storm in black. And the reason why I did that is my gift to you. And I call it a gift because I want to hand this to you and let you know you don't need to be perfect, and you're not. You're going to screw up. Your ego is going to run away from you. It can happen. And that shaded region in the middle is to remind you that yes, you get to have a bad day, but let me tell you what you're going to do as a powerful leader. You're going to call yourself on it. Yeah. When your ego does flare up, as soon as you recognize it, that's why we went through the mellow state, change state, alert state. It works for you too. When you notice that your ego's getting triggered and something has changed, before it gets to alert state, or maybe it's too late, you go right to alert state, call yourself on your own bullshit. Most people think it's better that people just forget their bullshit and you don't highlight it. But let me tell you, you want to show up more powerful, call yourself on your own bullshit. People appreciate that. The people around you are going to see you as more powerful and more in control. And when you are in control, it's going to land more for the people that are around you, whether it's your spouse, whether it's your family, whether it's your crewmates, whether it's your business partners, whether it's just friends and acquaintances, other family members. When you start showing up as someone who's willing to call themselves out on their bullshit and apologize and get back into not making it about you, that is extremely empowering. It's not disempowering. It's very empowering. Remember when Larry talked about how to create connection? There was three things: authenticity, vulnerability, and trust. The reason why that works in this scenario when you call yourself on your bullshit is you're authentically admitting that you were operating out of fear. You are vulnerable in admitting it to the people around you and showing, yeah, this isn't a good way for me, and I apologize. And then trust. You're pushing your trust out that they're going to accept your apology and accept that you are repentant of that way of being, and now step back into your more powerful ways of being in the land of possibility, right? Showing up strong and calm, cool, and collected. So the way back, when the dark shadow pops up, the way back in is to call yourself on your bullshit authentically, and vulnerability, and trust that you're going to regain control in a more empowered position. All right. So there's the eye chart. It's all back in. This is bringing us to the end of the HurricaneEd EQ tool. I hope you like this course of instruction. This was all under the risk management that we started off. Remember, out there for a mellow state of sail, if something's going to happen, we observe a change, we orient, we make a decision, and we act with either a course of action or a single action. We talked about all the available resources, and we're down to these two tools. The general factors tool, remember, that's for anything that's going to go wrong out there. We call it the IQ tool. Using what's in your head. What's in the center of that hurricane? Own your bio. Why? Because all your experience, all your knowledge, you got to own that. Never give up and show up in your boat shoes ready to get the job done. That's at the heart of the general factors tool or the HurricaneEd IQ tool. And today, what did we cover? The HurricaneEd EQ tool, crew factors. When someone else is having a bad day, how are we going to get them back operating out of love, out of the land of possibility, out of the most powerful way of being? Love and fear drive us. When the fear pops up, they're in the hurricane. We need to stay in the eye of the storm. What's our motto there? It's not about you. When you confront their ego with your ego, you're making it about you. You're taking it personally. Don't do it. Remember, calm, cool, and collected. Stare them in the eyes. Maybe a hand on the shoulder if they're emotional. Address their problem. Ask the who, the what, the why questions. All right? Ask the how questions. Get them back into a way of being where they can see possibility. And then move on. Let it drop. And remember, be gentle on yourself. Even you get to have a bad day. So, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this course of instruction. I hope you enjoyed this process with HurricaneEd of trying to raise the bar at what it means to be an instructor in the sailing community. Thank you for paying attention. Larry and I really enjoyed bringing this course of instruction with you, and we're so excited to put these materials in your hands to create the experiences on boats that you guys want to create, that we want to have, that the sailing community is known for. Family, friends, connecting in nature, and just enjoying the bounty of what the lakes and oceans and rivers have to offer on a boat. So thank you. Provide the feedback for us in email. Connect us through HurricaneEd. We'll have ways to contact us. It's been a pleasure giving you some of the hardest information Larry and I have sought after to enrich our lives and to share it with you. So thank you, and we'll see you on the next adventure.